Hi guys, my name is Jonathan and I'm back today to make another video about depersonalization derealization disorder. Um, so the question that I will be answering today in this video is if there is any medication to cure, if there's any specific medication to cure depersonalization derealization disorder. Um, Let me just first start out by saying I'm not a medical professional. This is just my best sourced opinion for wanting to actually like help you guys and and like help you get over depersonalization. So the answer is short answer is yes. There are medications that will help control and ease your depersonalization, but the long answer is no. And that really depends basically on how you got depersonalization slash derealization disorder and what specific symptoms and what specific other problems, other issues you're dealing with. So the short answer is yes, and I say it's yes because from my experience, I have friends and I know a lot of people from YouTube that have cured their depersonalization slash derealization disorder with the use of medications. Now, they could do this because the reason they had depersonalization derealization disorder is because they had either anxiety, depression, or I think those are the main two that I'm focusing on. So the reason that they could do this is because they either had anxiety or depression. And they had either anxiety or depression before they had depersonalization. And guys, when I mean anxiety slash depression, I mean it has to be sort of like crippling your life. Like it has to be affecting your life in some way. If you have depression and it doesn't make you want to wake up out of bed in the morning, and then you have anxiety and you have anxiety where you can't go out of your house because you're so scared of interacting with, or you're so anxiety ridden about interacting with people and whatever. These are two very distinct things that can spawn depersonalization disorder or depersonalization symptoms slash derealization. So if you have anxiety, depression, or if you have both, and you had it before you had depersonalization disorder, there's a strong chance that you could find medications to help alleviate both your anxiety slash depression and eventually your depersonalization, because your depersonalization slash derealization is really an offset slash a spawn of your it's really a reaction. Once your brain is for a long period of time under period of stress or anxiety slash depression, it can switch the light into depersonalized slash derealized mode. So if you're in a certain situation where it's culminating for either months or maybe even years in some people's cases, that suggests that there's a sort of a chemical imbalance in the brain where if you fixed the anxiety with anti-anxiety medication, or you fixed the depression, treated the depression with the antidepressants, and I've seen this time and time again on YouTube, people that have depersonalization that had anxiety, really bad anxiety slash really bad depression, and their depersonalization sort of spawned from that. And I know people, and I've seen on YouTube success stories of getting rid of depersonalization, or not even getting rid of, but just minimizing it to the point that it's not in their life anymore. And so, and I'm not going to tell you what medications can do this, whatever, because really it's about you talking to your healthcare provider, your doctor, about what medications would work best for you and your symptoms, your underlying mental health issue. And because anxiety is very close in contact with panic. And depersonalization, you're literally constantly, like, I feel like your neurons are like constantly firing because you're like depersonalized and you're like, what was that? Like, it's either, that's at least for how I go with my depersonalization disorder. And I don't consider myself having anxiety or depression. I've never had depression. Maybe I have anxiety, but it definitely wasn't there before my depersonalization. And so that's the second case I'm going to get into right now, is if so the long answer, how I said in the beginning of the video, is no. And there's no specific medication to treat depersonalization, derealization disorder. But if I talked about the first group of people where if you have anxiety or depression before you had depersonalization, there is hope for you for finding a medication that will alleviate first the anxiety / depression and then the depersonalization. But the second group of people that sort of got depersonalization / derealization disorder from either, it can be a combination of things, just stress, like family stress. It can be marijuana induced, it can be alcohol induced, it can be any other drug induced, it can be PTSD induced, and unfortunately, I'll talk about this in a second. But unfortunately, I fall into the second category where mine was sort of a culmination of a lot of different things. I didn't have anxiety or depression before this, and I've never had depression. I literally just have maybe some anxiety, like that's it. And then I had depersonalization on top of that. But so I sort of fall into the second group of people, and the second group of people is the people that, as I said, don't have an underlying mental health issue, that have just gotten it sort of randomly. They're a happy-go-lucky person. They never had really any issues, and then this popped into their life. And I have a feeling that's where most of you guys are. If you watch my videos, is you didn't have one of the two big underlying issues, but it just sort of popped into your life. And so unfortunately, there's not a medication that's specifically oriented for depersonalization disorder. But that doesn't mean that you can't beat it, and that doesn't mean that there aren't supplements and vitamins and all this other stuff, all this other good stuff that you can't take to eventually get over it. Personally, in my case, I got it from PTSD, stress, family stress, and other issues, and it sort of all culminated into a panic attack about 3 days after I found out that I had PTSD from a certain situation, and that panic attack set me into a DP spiral. So that was really the onset of my depersonalization, was from PTSD based. And honestly, other than time and changing yourself and figuring out like CBD oil, which is what I take. I take 2 15-milligram capsules of CBD oil a day. That's the only thing that I've really helped. It's anti-PTSD, which helps in my case. But that's really the only thing that I've seen in my experience that helps with the group of people that don't fall into the already underlying mental health issue, is CBD oil. I highly recommend it if you are in this second group, or even if you're in the first group and you don't want to try medication right away or whatever. But guys, you shouldn't, that brings up another point, you shouldn't be ashamed of having to try medication if you had depression, anxiety before this. It's really something, it's a chemical imbalance in your brain, is how I'm gonna describe it. And I'm not a mental health care professional, take everything I say with a grain of salt, but I'm trying to help you guys. So it's really just it's something that you need to fix with medication, and you shouldn't be ashamed in the slightest for having to go on medication if you need to, because the amount of the quality of life that you can gain from going on a medication, which would alleviate your underlying mental health issue and then eventually alleviate your depersonalization, would literally be so it would be a miracle. It would be life-changing for some people. And I'm not anti-medication, I'm not for medication, I'm just saying if you and your doctor think that it sounds right for you, and don't try talking to your doctor about, oh, I have depersonalization. They won't know. I guarantee you, not a lot of medical professionals know what depersonalization is. You have to go in talking to your doctor about your underlying mental health issue, and then you'll have to know that from fixing your underlying mental health issue, that depersonalization, derealization will eventually let up, because that's usually the biggest sort of rock drowning you, is your underlying mental health issue. So and unfortunately, or fortunately, or not even, okay, whatever. But I was about to say something else. Anyway, but so if you fall into the second group of people, don't give up. You still have a lot of treatment options. Mindfulness, situational based depersonalization onset really does not have a specific medication you can take, but constant years of stress, anxiety, depression culminating into depersonalization definitely can get fixed with medication. So that's really what this video is about. If you found an answer, If you found answers or hope or something from this video, please leave it a like. Comment down below if you have any questions. I'll be sure to answer them. And check out my other videos if you fall into the second group of the second category I spoke of, where it's situational based, it's drug based, it's whatever based. My other videos really are just natural. I focus on like a natural homeopathic path to getting rid of depersonalization, no medication. But if you are in the first group that I talked about, I strongly recommend talking to your doctor about medications that you can take to ease your underlying mental health issue. So if you have any more questions, leave it in the comments below. I'll be answering them. And check out my other videos. I already said that. Yeah, but check out my other videos, and I hope that you guys find hope and peace and find that you're not alone from these videos. And yeah, stay strong, guys, because there's a lot brighter days ahead for you guys. So I'll see you in my next video. Bye.